Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Star Trek Resurgence. Now, I'm doing this in my lunch hour because I'm still pretty much heavily on the mend from my cold, so it tends to be worse like in the morning and evening, so I figured I'd do it in the lunch hour. I'm fully stocked up on like pills and medicine, and I've got a Jakeman's in my mouth. That's a sweet, that's aniseed and eucalyptus for sore throats, not, you know, someone's todger, just let you know that. So I sound relatively okay at the moment, so that's good. I'll try and cut any coughs or anything like that out for you. But Star Trek Resurgence, this was one that took me by surprise because I had seen it. It had released on console and Epic Game Stores back in 2023, in May, and I saw it on Epic Game Store, and I just figured it was like tie into new Star Trek. Not really bothered, because like I hate new Trek. It's terrible, and it's not Star Trek for me. That's where I sit on it. So I didn't really pay too much attention to it. So I was either like it was that, or maybe it was like a Star Trek Online expansion that I'd get anyway. So whatever. And then it dropped on Steam a year later after the exclusivity deal expired with Epic Games. And the trailer popped up, and I was like, "Wait a second! I recognise that class of ship. That's a Centaur class. I have a model of that, in fact. Okay, wait, those uniforms." Those are Dominion War, post-Dominion War era uniforms? I was like, so it's actual Trek? And it's actual Trek. I am delighted to say I have finally experienced a new piece of Star Trek media that was made with love and not just the desire to use it for either profit or pushing a political messaging. So, yay! I got more Star Trek. And it's done by a developer called Dramatic Labs. Now, these guys came from what were the Telltale Studios, the guys at The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, that sort of thing. Which historically we've always been big fans of here at the channel. Or at least I am now a big fan of here at the channel. And you can tell it's from that lineage of games, from the way the characters move. The animation is quite similar in regard to the way they move. If you compare this to like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us, stuff like that. The graphic style is a little bit more realistic. It's not like photorealism, Uncanny Valley levels or anything like that. It's still noticeably not real, but it is a little bit more realistic than those previous games where they were coming away from like really comic book influenced styles like cel shaded and stuff like that. So that makes sense. So the story is you actually play two characters. You play the new first officer of the starship called Jara Rydek, and also a petty officer called Carter Diaz. Now it's a really interesting take to do it this way, because really their storylines don't cross until you're like 2/3 of the way through the game. The things are happening simultaneously to the ship, so they're both impacted by it, but they're never really interacting until that point. So it's really nice to see like the playing the game from both like high level command, sort of the main officers, because you're obviously first officer, so you're interacting with the captain and the chief engineer and the science officer, and you know all the big boys, and then you go and play as Carter, and you're dossing around with your trill mate, you know, and like moaning about engineering shifts. It's so getting the two slices of the pie is quite interesting, and it's quite refreshing. So when you jump from one to the other, it's like, okay, I'm going from fixing an engineering problem to, oh, the ship is in peril. They do become more closely aligned later on as you sort of prove yourself as Carter and sort of become more important to the story that goes on. The story itself is pretty good, I thought. If it was like just a Star Trek episode, it would be a good one. I don't think it'd be one of the best ones, but it would certainly be one I would watch multiple times. So there's that. There is action and quick time events. It's basically the Telltale game sort of formula. So You do have to. There are quick time events. There are action scenes where you have to shoot. Those are pretty. They're okay. They're serviceable. They're not great or anything like that. But it's not really a game you would play for the action gameplay. It's definitely about the decision making, the story, more than anything else. And the characters, they do a really good job of fleshing out the characters, as you would hope they would. There's even 2 returning characters, neither of which I will spoil. I mean, it is a year-old game, but I mean, it's just released on Steam, so for any Steam users, it's going to be new. And one, I mean, they're both iconic from the Trek licensing, and one is the original actor reprising his role, and the other is got a really excellent voice actor doing the part for him, because he sounds great. He sounds on the money. So well done, that guy. So the storyline, I'll give it a brief overview. Nothing too in depth, because obviously a game like this, it's the story that you're interested in. So you've got on your new ship, the USS Resolute. The captain's made a rather catastrophic error in a previous mission, and that resulted in major damage to the ship, and a lot of his crew died, and he's lost a lot of face, so his ego's hurt, basically. You need to sort of get around that, which is, you know, fine. And you're basically the new first officer coming on, and you've got to, like, sort of make everybody respect you for your actions, because they're all like, well, we had this great first officer, and this guy thought he'd be the first officer, but they brought you in because you scored well, and, you know. You do have history with the captain as well. He was the one that requested you, but the rest of the crew are a bit, so you have to go through it. Interesting enough, she's a Kobliad. I keep wanting to say Kabali, but that was the one that Jodie from Supernatural was and came back to life, I think. I think that was the one? Never mind. That was in Voyager. And basically, she's half Kobliad, not Kabali. And basically, human looking, ridged down the front of the face, so standard forehead alien that we're all familiar with, which is excellent, because that's how I like my aliens. And you have to have deuterium, which I thought was the matter part of the antimatter reaction. What was it? It was perfectly fine. But apparently she needs that. Was it duridium? No, it's duridium. Very slightly different. There you go. That explains my confusion. Basically, she needs to be infused in that, otherwise her cells begin to break down, which is lovely. And you go through and you make decisions, complete quick time events, and you play through the story. Now, the story is your ship is being sent to negotiate between 2 warring civilizations. They're not warring yet, but they're about to start warring. And you're there to try and, like, smooth things over. Neither are Federation members, so you don't have too much authority. You're there on the request of them, basically, just to help mediate. But you can't just roll in and say, "Oi, stop it." You actually have to, like, work to try and be diplomatic. But there's a deeper mystery, one that ties back into an early episode of TNG, which is nice. Well done. And that kind of, like, explains what's going on and becomes the main thrust of the game. When you realise what's going on, it's kind of like, oh, this situation is not what I expected it to be. It's this instead, so we need to deal with it. There's some really good sort of action going on. I mean, I don't want to say, like, action gameplay, because the action gameplay is... you do get to, like, fly shuttles through fields and avoid stuff, but outside of that and the sort of cover-based shooting mechanic that you do on the ground, there's really no action. There's cutscenes that do have a lot of action, though, and you basically say, well, I want to do this, so it does this in cutscene form. Which is fine. I'm okay with that, because you're command of the starship. You tell the ship officers what to do, and they do it. So it works for me. You'd also get a page which tells you your relationships with all of your crewmates, everybody you've met, including some of the bad guys. We don't really understand why they would need that, because they're the bad guys. You're going to have a bad relationship with the bad guys unless you're a bad guy. And why would you be the bad guy? You're the Federation. You're supposed to be the good guys. So it's, yeah, but it will, like, reference, it'll be it'll reference sort of like previous decisions you've made. The most recent ones are usually on there, saying what they liked about it, what they didn't, and you know the expression on the portrait changes in order to sort of illustrate their dissatisfaction with you. There is a crew member who is, I don't want to say she's Hitler, but she's kind of Hitler. She feels very much like a New Trek entry. It's always kill it. Just kill it. We're the Federation. We kill things, right? It's like no. That's very much not the point of the Federation. Oh, now you're annoyed with me. You're annoyed with me for not committing genocide. You bitch. Which is really frustrating because there's an earlier moment with her where she does something selfless to help save lives. Now, you can stop her doing the selfless thing and being injured, or you can let her do the selfless thing and get injured. And she holds it against you if you don't stop her. And you're kind of like, you decided to do that. Why are you blaming me, you cow? I did not like her, and she was basically the only one of the crew member I didn't have a positive relationship with the first officer. I don't think the other guy even meets her, so he's probably better off. However, the other guy does have a love interest. Carter has a love interest called Miranda. There, of course, can't just be sunshine and roses. It's got to be super fucking complex. And trust me, it gets super fucking complex pretty quick. Oh dear. Poor old Carter, never getting his end away. But I really enjoyed the game. It took me about 9 hours to finish. So, you know, there you go. It's on Steam for like £20. I got it for 15 because the launch sale. And I just had so much fun with it. I just sat, and that was all I played until I finished it, basically. I really enjoyed just getting back into the universe that I know, and not whatever it is nowadays, you know. It's just like the Federation, act like the Federation, except for that one character, but yeah, she resigned in my playthrough, and I was like, bye. So whatever. You can probably side with her and all the stuff, and like get her on board, but like, God, why would you? What a horrible person. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. Even though you didn't,
but outside of that, I was just, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like this is the way I like my story-based games. I mean, I've just criticised Hellblade 2 for being short, uninteresting, step down. I mean, but the thing is, in that, it wants to have its cake and eat it, right? It wants to be the story game, and also, you know, the art piece, and also the combat god.
it's good to see you awake again.
And it just doesn't do anything well outside of graphics, but I have my mixed opinions on those as well, to be fair. Whereas this is just like, right, well, we'll have like action bits, but you know, no one's going to expect like it to be good, because that's not what we do, and it's not really important either. It's just there to actually just give the player something else to do, just a bit of variety. It's not there as like a main crux of the game. The main crux of the game is the decision making you'll go through, and that really is it. I mean, there's gameplay in it. I mean, you walk around, you jog around, you investigate things, use a tricorder. There's several different kinds of mini games to play in it. Some are better than others, and there are stealth sections, but they're mostly forgiving. So even I got through them, and I hate stealth sections. I'm like, I have a phaser. If I fuck up the stealth, just let me try and shoot everybody. But no, Instafell stealth sections are in it, but like I said, they're pretty forgiving, so it's not too bad. And the ending is, well, the ending I got, I should probably say, I need to replay it again, which I haven't done yet. I started a second replay just to record footage. But the ending I got, there was like one QTE I whiffed, and I'm just sat there wondering, is that the reason I got that ending, or would that have happened anyway? And it was so frustrating because it was like in the last 20 minutes of the game, and it was just like, oh god damn it, I whiffed it. And then I'm like, oh god, I think I may have just doomed somebody that I didn't need to doom. So going to continue that second playthrough and see if I can correct my mistake there and see a slightly more positive ending. Well, the ending I got was very positive, but it was only bittersweet for at least one of the characters, put it that way. And that's me waffling quite enthusiastically, I hope that comes across, about Star Trek Resurgence. I would really like to see more with this crew. More with this crew, more in this universe from these guys. I just want more of these games. With different stories. Maybe you could like sharpen up a few of the mini games, but like then, as I said, it's a minor concern to me because that's the type of game these are. And oh, my first one. I'll see if I remember to cut that out. I've located the shuttle. Opening comms. That's the type of games that these are. It's not $60-$70 full price AAA title where you go in and all of the advertising around it is sticking swords in people. So it's all the advertising about this is just been talking and cutscenes, and that was it. I mean, I didn't even see any because, like, as I said, I wasn't even aware of what it was until it came out on Steam, which is probably a good argument against exclusivity to Epic. Well, I suppose it depends how much money they throw you, don't it? Because plus, it's also in the Unreal Engine, so they probably got some benefit there as well, in fairness. But yeah, if you've never heard of this game, which I've talked to some of my Star Trek loving friends, and they've never heard of it. So I'm just like, well, now you go get it. And I really want to see it do well, especially now it's out on Steam. So because I just want more. That's what I want. I want more Star Trek. And if fucking TV is not going to give me the Star Trek I want, you know, fine. Let Dramatic Labs give it to me then. I will. This is getting filthy. I need to find a better way of phrasing things. But yeah, you've got fucking Discovery where everybody's a whiny baby man and isn't professional and doesn't want to do their jobs and just spends their days fuck this, fuck that. And then you got Picard where they're just old, weird decisions and the entire fleet's made of one ship and you're doing the end of massive. I watched the first 2 seasons of fucking Picard and then gave up. Apparently season 3 was a lot better, so I gave up obviously at the wrong point, but that was my thing. And what really pissed me off about I'm tangenting, I'm sorry, but it must be done, is how badly it was written. So season 1, when you had, like, what was her name? I want to say OG, but that was the proto-Romulan girl from Who Watches the Watchers. The android woman, or at least one of them, because there were 2. And they go to visit Riker, and she's up in, like, Riker's little girl's room and, like, does the data head tilt. And I sat there, I was like, did she just do the data head tilt? She hasn't done that before. Why has she just done the data head tilt? And then, of course, Riker's like, oh, she does the data head tilt. She's obviously an android. It's just like, well, shit, she ain't never done that before, so that was well written. Well done, you. Oh, just awful. And, Discovery. I stuck with that for fucking... I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 seasons. Last one I watched was with Pike. And it's like... I think that was 2 seasons. I think season 2, it started off and, like, Pike saves Michael Byrne. I mean, you're like, oh, maybe they're going a different way. You know, she's not this fucking Mary Sue that we all fucking hate, that's been shoehorned into Star Trek and made to be part of fucking Spock's family for some reason that nobody really wants to elaborate on. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship. Yeah, never mind, she can't even hold the phaser around the right fucking way. Yeah, trust me, look that up on Google. She holds the phaser backwards.
no different
Stupid
than
cow.
any of the others.
Anyway, so I thought, you know, they were going a different way with that, and as the season progressed, I realised that no, they're not.
We'll try to restrain
How
ourselves.
foolish of me to think
Then I
that.
will leave you to it.
So,
Make
yeah,
note of any
did that. Glad I did.
abnormalities in the report.
Didn't watch any more of it.
Carry on.
It was just
It seems like he's warming up to
not
us.
Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, and the JJ movie,
Even
I may as well
Sherlock
finish with the
has
JJ
those
movies,
real
right?
respect.
Because why not?
And I have
While
to
they
admit,
were okay, they
I
weren't
owe you one.
massively
You were right
offensive to
go
me.
first. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think it was really obvious that JJ wanted to do Star Wars because he was trying to very much turn Star Trek into Star Wars.
At the very least, maybe I can track
The
down that
first
bottle
one
story
is
Brandy is still on the hook for.
probably
But first,
this is the mid one, I would say. There's a lot wrong with it when it comes to the time travel element, and also just
Ready to go?
Eric Bana's ship. It's like, why would you have a ship design like that, where like just walking from one side to the other could be a fatal drop to your death? Makes no sense. Because nothing makes fucking sense. It just needs to be cinematic, doesn't
I
it?
know about your talk with Miranda.
And then Into Darkness, well, that
She
was
sent me a priority
fucking
one
awful.
dispatch right after your
I
conversation.
hated that Khan was in it. I
I'm
hated
happy
that,
for
like,
you.
the characters were supposed to react to Khan as if he was Khan, but like had no history with Khan, so it was like,
Don't
eh.
screw
And like, you've got
up,
all of his
because
people,
I would
right?
be very unhappy if you
In
tried this out
photon
and then,
torpedo cases,
I don't know, 6 weeks or 6
and
days later
he's trying to blackmail you.
holidays between the two of you.
Just start pinging them
All
into the
because things went
sun.
south and you're not
Yeah,
on
Khan,
the
you want another one in there? How about you give up now? No, you another one? How about that?
You really don't believe
But
in
apparently not.
It's not you.
Just, and what they did there, the Klingons, oh my god, oh, that's a Discovery thing as well. They just can't leave the fucking Klingons alone. Leave the Klingons alone, they're perfect.
I like my friends and I like our group.
And then you had,
Don't lose that.
oh god, I can't remember the name, Beyond.
Does that
There you go.
mean any-
Yeah.
I actually quite liked Beyond.
Let's see. The relays
I know,
on the
I know.
primary EPS are blown.
Uh,
Backup
Yes,
relays are
destroying an enemy fleet with Beastie Boys is
Yes,
fucking
overload
stupid,
from the warp
but
drive
yes.
caused that.
But I liked it
Shuttle
because
ends up dead in the water.
you got a lot more of the, like, the trio characters together, like the time, like with Spock and Bones being paired off, and you got to see more of that interaction, and that has been
They were only
fucking
about 6
missing.
minutes from their plotted
It's
warp
all
drive.
about being Uhura, because we have a hot woman that we've cast as Uhura, so we want her fucking involved with everything. Even to the point where she's fucking Spock, and Spock is supposed to fuck every 7 years, because he's a Vulcan, but they don't understand Vulcans.
It means the main
but,
navigation array
ah.
is in space somehow.
I should probably
The
just
array
draw
going
that.
offline
Yes.
caused that?
So
Yes.
there you go.
But it should have also thrown up the fault code.
I've accidentally given you an opinion on all of the new Trek as well as a review of Star Trek Resurgence. So
I've seen this happen when the center warp
yeah,
crashed.
I'm going to call that a productive lunch hour. So
Still, we should take
and only
a look.
one cough to edit out, which I may or may not have forgotten. So enjoy the cough if I did. Anyway, getting back on topic,
Their
Star Trek
little shuttle didn't
Resurgence.
turn inside out.
I loved it. If you like Telltale games, their way of storytelling and
Any one of these failures should have thrown a
you know
fault.
the gameplay contained within, you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying gameplay. There's minimal amounts of it,
Roll forward.
but it is there,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's just really there to move the plot along. So if
here,
you like that
here's a
sort of
moment
thing,
to get the
and
bearings
you like
and
Star
the
Trek,
attempt to re-engage the warp
definitely get it. Definitely.
There. That's the relays blown.
I absolutely adored my entire time with this, and was super unhappy
There's another warp system
to have
alert.
finished it. I just want more from Dramatic Labs of this.
Variance out of tolerance,
And,
warp
you know, I don't
equations.
care if they improve the gameplay or the graphics or anything like that.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp
Ooh,
coil is
two.
cracked or the navigation array is offline.
I just want more stories from them with these characters
Divide and
in this
conquer.
universe,
You want to check the warp
please.
coils or the navigation array? I'll
And
check
that's what I'm
the
going to say about that. So take it
Not
easy, guys,
overcomplicated.
and I'll catch you next time.
One of these systems is likely broken.